World Wildlife Day is celebrated each year on 3rd March. And why we celebrate it? United Nations decided to celebrate the day as World Wildlife Day to commemorate historic adoption of CITES. CITES means Convention on International Trade in Species of Fauna and Flora. So it does not include only animals but also plants. Without plants, we cannot think existence of animals, because God has provided the capability to have photosynthesis only to the plants because they contain chlorophyll. Only plants can go far trapping the solar energy, and solar energy trapped by the plastids, chlorophyll, ultimately leads to formation of oxygen and carbohydrates. And carbohydrates, different kinds of sugars, ultimately they are metabolized. Biosynthesis of many amino acids, proteins, fats takes place. Even the colors, anthocyanins, flavonoids, carotenoids, all are the gifts of photosynthesis. Without photosynthesis, no energy can run through different trophic levels in the ecosystem, or so to say, biosphere as a whole. To commemorate the World Wildlife Day today, the theme has been chosen as connecting people to the planet where human beings have evolved along with the evolution of myriad number of different species of plants, animals, microorganisms, and fungi. So international community, especially the scientists, have coined the third term along with fauna and flora, funga. Funga is the new term which encompasses the assemblage of non-chlorophyllous organisms which are neither animals nor plants, but they behave like plants as well as they behave like animals because they have chitin, because they are, so to say, stationary. They are not moving like true animals, but they are without any chlorophyll, but they are indispensable for the health of any ecosystem. But the adoption of CITES, the Convention on International Trade of Species of Flora and Fauna, that restricts the surveillance or monitoring of those species which have the international trade. So it may be chiru, Pentholops hoxoni, it may be musk deer, Mascus chrysogaster or Mascus cupreus. It may be the unique endemic tree, red senders, Raktachandan, Pterocarpus centellinus, or the coot plant, Sasuria costus, which is unique to northwestern Himalayas. Many of these medicinal plants, edible plants, they are familiar to the communities. If the theme is connecting people to the planet, then there is extension of the theme as the digital innovations. How the digital innovations, they help in wildlife conservation, monitoring the wildlife trade, to check smuggling, to innovate conservation strategies. So this unique event is also an opportunity to raise awareness about the wild resources. So the plant you see before me is the unique plant which usually the local people collect during spring season. This is Banafsha, the violet flower, Viola. Viola canescens is found in cheat pine forests, whereas Viola odorata is found in temperate Kashmir, Himalaya and Bhadrava, Kishtwar. This is a unique medicinal plant which is often collected by the ethnic communities. It is traded in the market and is innovated in Ayurvedic and Unani formulations. Also taken as herbal decoction or a herbal tea. So this is Viola. This is the season, spring season, when we celebrate the World Wildlife Day. This is also the season of onset of spring and many violets we see in the wilderness. We are also familiar with the large-scale popular cultivation, widespread cultivation of this plant, which is a succulent, aloe vera, and it is also consumed by way of health drinks, even as pickle, and it is also put to use in face creams, in many cosmetics. It's a very useful plant for skin care. In even shampoos find use of this particular succulent, aloe vera. Here you see the unique plant, which is the bark of Taxus wallaceiana, locally called as Burmi or postal in Kashmir. The Kashmir Taxus is sometimes identified as Taxus contorta, but in northeast Arunachal Pradesh we have another unique yew or a relative of Taxus, which is called as Emmentotaxus. Species is Samicus, critically endangered plant from the northeastern Himalayas, and the Taxus is also included as threatened conifer of northwestern Himalayas. As the plants are dioecious, male and female trees, they stand apart, and its seed is naked but protected by a brilliant pink-red aril, which is sweet and much sought after by the wildlife, including birds and mammals. So few seeds get opportunity to germinate and recruit as the new saplings. So Jammu and Kashmir also need to focus on the population of this unique conifer, Taxus wallaceiana or Taxus contorta. Large-scale plantations of Taxus will help in resurrecting the declining population of this unique conifer. From the bark, there is a anti-cancerous drug formulation. Previously, that was Taxol, and then Pacific yew was also used for paclitaxel. Ultimately, synthetic anti-cancerous medicine is also derived, but the basic chemical structure is based on the phytochemical obtained from the yew. So that is the unique drug discovery linked to this bark. But here this bark was gifted me during the 2-day multidisciplinary conference organized by Government Degree College, Punj, in collaboration with Indian Science Congress Association, J&K chapter, and on-spot demonstration how to prepare the yew tea that was demonstrated during the session devoted to forest food plants. Another plant, the flowers of which are usually collected by the hill people, and this particular flower is the national flower of Nepal and state flower of Nagaland. It is rhododendron, locally called as chew. in Ramnagar, Bilawar, Basantgarh area. It is called Hardul in Rajouri, Poonch area, and Burans in Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. And this particular flower can be innovated as a herbal tea because this has been found to be very effective to stop or to regulate the existence of coronavirus. It can hinder basically the replication of that coronavirus. So from that angle, it has medicinal benefits. It is useful against heart ailments and digestive troubles. Also used as a holy color. In the tropical belt, we have tesu or dahak, plash, beauty monosperma flowers, which are used for playing holy colors, festival of colors. Whereas in the mountains where you don't have beauty monosperma, in the temperate snowbound locations, in the oak forest, we find this unique tree, rhododendron, which is evergreen tree, and it is signifying the climate change, early warming, shortening of the winter, early spring also lead to the blooming of rhododendron arboreum before time. So in Uttarakhand this year, it started blooming in January itself. Otherwise, usual time of flowering is March, April. So in Himalayas, this particular flower is also visited by many birds. For example, barbet, great Himalayan barbet, which is called bahyo in Hindi, meoli, Himachal Pradesh, also named as Treu in Dogri language. So if we visit the rhododendron forests, then often we hear the melodious notes of the great Himalayan barbet, Xylopogon. Xylopogon viridis, Xylopogon virens. And not only barbets, but even sunbirds and many tits, and even a rufous, basically the bird which is called as the Rufus sibia, Heterophasia capistrata, also visits the blooms of this rhododendron arboreum as it has nectar. So it is also helping in sustaining the wildlife. When we focus on this unique plant, many of us will confuse. This is mushroom. This looks like Gucci mushroom, marchala. On closer examination, you will find this is not Gucci mushroom. In fact, this is angiosperm herb, which looks like mushroom, or it looks like a root of some fungal material. So it has also been named in English as the fungus root, although this is not root and it is not fungus. This is basically a holoparasite, a plant which has the flowers. So it is angiosperm because it's a flowering plant. But the flowers are tiny and they are aggregated in the form of a globular structure at the apex of the stem-like structure, which is leafless and achlorophyllous. Without chlorophyll, it cannot have its own photosynthesis. So that necessitates it needs to have its nutrition from some other plant. So it grows in association of many other shrubs and trees like Viburnum grandiflorum, locally called as Guch, or Tiond or Teldi in Jammu Hills. But elsewhere, this particular plant has also been found to grow in association with Olea ferruginea or Olea cuspidata, and some people say it also grows in association with Syzygium. Basically, in India we have many species. So one of the species, which is the type species, that is Balanophora fungosa, and fungosa means fungus-like. The plant which we find in northwestern Himalayas, especially in Rajouri Punch, that stands identified as Balanophora involucrata. But in India we also have Balanophora dioica. In fact, we have Balanophora fungosa, subspecies fungosa, and another subspecies indica. So this particular mushroom-like flowering herb is unique, which is found during monsoon season in Bhadrawa Hills and Rajouri Punch, and locals collect it and use its decoction as aphrodisiac. They prepare tea, and in Kerala also there are other species, but same Balanophora, its genus, that species is also exploited by the locals to cure the piles. And even in some tribals in Tamil Nadu, they use this unique flowering plant, which is Balanophora. And the genus Balanophora was established by father and son, Johann Forster and George Forster, in the year 1774. So this unique Balanophora involucrata is also part of wilderness. So when we celebrate World Wildlife Day, and with the theme connecting people to the planet, digital innovations, we need to talk about traditional knowledge, people's knowledge, which are the resources which are covered by the CITES, the species which are critically endangered. They find inclusion in the CITES, especially the Schedule 1 animals of Wildlife Protection Act, and many trees like mahogany or red cedars, coat plant. So we need to know how we can go for cultivation and domestication of those species which we want to commercialize, whereas the habitats need to be preserved in pristine glory. No more fragmentation of habitats should be tolerated. No more deforestation for the further development in the fragile mountains. No more pollution. Let us reduce plastic garbage generation. So packaging also need to be eco-friendly, so that whatever we purchase from the market, it should not have the plastic wrappers or packing, so that consumers are able to minimize their carbon footprint. We need to popularize the ethnic cuisines, and these plants which you just see, all these are locally exploited for the ethnic cuisines, whether it is Banapsha, Viola canescens or Viola odorata, whether it is aloe vera, ghee kovar or quadcandle, or Taxus contorta or Taxus wallichiana, or Rhododendron arboreum, Chew, Borans, Hardul, or unique plant, mushroom-like flowering plant, Balanophora involucrata, which is in Pahadi language called as Mastani Booty, and many people they also call it as Mastanga Booty. And in the year 1976, Professor A.K. Kaul, G.L. Karihalu, Irshad Ahmad Khan, they have one paper, Wild Tea Substitute, Jammu and Kashmir, where they have included this unique plant which looks like a mushroom, but this is a flowering holoparasite belonging to the family Balanophoriaceae. So let us conserve the knowledge about plants and animals, including mushrooms, which local people are familiar with. Let younger generation know these local Pahadi, Gojari, Kashmiri, Ladakhi, Tamil, Malayalam, Gujarati, Bangla, Manipuri names, and also need the binomial knowledge. What is the accepted scientific name which is recognized by the Biodiversity Act? So let us educate the younger generation. They need to be taken to the wilderness. They can see with their own eyes the nature in diverse manifestations, the mammals, arthropods. In fact, when I am referring to this Balanophora, its flowers are also visited by many insects. And one unique hexapods which visit this Balanophora flowers, they are Collembola, a group of spring tails which appear during spring. And they are in fact not insects. Now they stand segregated. They are put apart from the insecta and under Collembola. And spring tails have been found to thrive in association with Balanophora. There are many nival insects which we find even in snow. And if we spoil those landscapes, those habitats, or we fragment or poison the soils and polluted wetlands, definitely the wilderness will be impacted, and it will be impacted badly, ultimately putting many unforeseen challenges for the survival of Homo sapiens on this planet Earth. Thank you.